Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I like to talk about books. So today I'm going to be talking about kind of some books that I've read in April and some books that I'm going to be reading in May. Kind of a combination April like reading wrap up, May TBR. So yeah, if that interests you then keep watching. If not, I totally get it. So let's just sort of get right into things, honestly. I'm just gonna kind of touch on some of the stuff I read in April and what I liked and what I didn't like and kind of what I'm reading right now and some things I'm looking forward to in May. I'll start with what I'm currently reading, and I'm currently reading The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. And this book basically follows a woman who is like obsessed with true crime. She's like a true crime writer. She's got a website and everything, and it focuses around this, I guess, crime, like these murders that happened in the community where she lives like 40 years ago, I think. And basically she meets the woman who was accused of these, and I think just kind of finds out, I think she finds out who did it. I don't really know, I haven't gotten that far or anything, but I think that's the idea because I read in just like kind of the info about it that it wasn't one of those cold case mystery books that's like open-ended, like you do get closure in it, which is kind of why I was like, oh okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm not super far yet, so I can't really speak to it that much, but so far it's like interesting enough. It's a nice little read. It doesn't feel like anything crazy like, oh my gosh, you have to read this, but it feels just like pretty good. I definitely am enjoying it so far. I might do a full review on it once I'm done, so I won't really say much more about that, but yeah, definitely enjoying it so far. But anyway, some of the books that I read in April, I finished The Remains of the Day, which I think I literally finished it like the first day or something, or maybe I even finished it. I don't remember if I finished that in March or April, to be honest, but I finished that book and that was just amazing. I also read Station 11 right after that, and those were like back to back incredible books. I think that those are already just going to be two of my favorite books of the year. I already did a dedicated review on Station 11, not going to talk about it anymore, but I also read Sea of Tranquility right after Station 11, which was Emily St. John Mandel's new release. I also did a dedicated review on that, so you can check that out if you're interested. Basically, my thoughts were that it didn't quite live up to Station 11, but then again, I think that that was like lightning in a bottle. I don't think that, I don't know, I'm not sure anything like that's gonna really happen again because it was just, it felt like a real like whoosh, lightning in a bottle. But yeah, it was a mixed review for me. I wouldn't say I hated it, but definitely mixed. The next book that I did start, but honestly just couldn't get into was The Maid. And I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this, and I'm not sure where I fall on the spectrum. I started it and then it just wasn't like the vibe right then. So I may pick it up again next month. I'm kind of tentatively gonna tack it onto that reading list because it just was not doing it for me at all, and yeah, it just was not something I was interested in. But you know, maybe I'll pick it up again next month and maybe it'll feel different. Maybe it's just not the book for me, and that's okay. My thoughts on that are just kind of like, if you're really just not into a book, like don't force yourself to read it if you don't have to. If it's like not very good, especially like just for fun reading, like don't force yourself to finish a book if you don't love it. Yeah, just don't bother. And then like I said, The Book of Cold Cases is my like current read right now towards the end of the month. I'm probably gonna be done with it soon and then I'll do a review. And for May, I'm very, very excited for the things I'm going to read in May. I really only have 3 books that I think I'm going to read. I would say like only 3 books because one of them is really long, and that is The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan. So this is the 3rd Wheel of Time book. If you've been following me, I've read and done reviews on the first 2. The first one I was like meh on, it was good, but I just wasn't sure if I was super into it. But after reading the second one, I'm definitely more interested because the magic system is just so much more interesting. We got to learn more about the Aes Sedai. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. That's okay. But yeah, I'm really excited to see just what happens in this book, and not much to say about that because I don't really know what's supposed to happen in it. So I'm going in basically completely surprised. The second book that I'm very excited to read in May that's coming out is called City of Orange by David Yoon. This is, like I said, a new release in May, and it honestly just sounds so intriguing to me. It follows a man with amnesia Kayla who wakes up in a post-apocalyptic world, and he is essentially like trying to piece together what happened, who he is, like just give himself context. It's a really great premise, and it kind of reminds me of like the very beginning part of 28 Days Later, but maybe if that part were more like drawn out. It's just a great premise. I feel like I'm kind of feeling the post-apocalyptic vibes right now. I'm just gonna ride that. As long as I can. But yeah, that doesn't release until the end of May, so that will be later in the month that I read it. There is another book though that I'm also curious to read that I'll probably do in between these, and that is called This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub. I don't know. Now this book has a really great premise as well, and honestly it feels like it could be really like unique, emotional, sort of kind of thoughtful read if done well. So it's kind of one of those like it has to be done well, otherwise it could just be a little bit too corny. But basically the premise is that a woman turns 40, and instead of actually turning 40, she wakes up the next morning as her 16-year-old self. And this is obviously by itself not that crazy, but basically she has long wished to mend her relationship with her dad, and upon getting basically a second chance with her adult insight kind of to help her, basically it's sort of like, you know, when you're always like in hindsight this or that, but it's like, oh my gosh, what if you could actually go back and you have that hindsight? So yeah, she goes back, wakes up as her 16-year-old self, and uses this opportunity to do exactly that, to be like, in hindsight I would have for blah 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 blah, to help mend her relationship with her dad. I thought this was sweet. I don't know, it just sounds like a really interesting premise. Like I said, if done right, it could be a really cute, sweet, emotional little book. I bet it makes me cry. That's fine, I'm an easy crier. But yeah, those are just the 3 books that I'm super excited for in May. I don't think I'll be reading anything else in May. Yeah, I'll just be reading those, and I will probably do review on 1, 2, 3, maybe all of them. I'm not entirely sure yet, but yeah, just definitely we'll keep you updated on that. But that's all for my kind of April wrap up and May TBR. Let me know below if you're excited for any of these books as well. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, just kind of a little casual situation. Please like, please subscribe, all that good stuff if you want to, and I will see you later.